Hello, hello, everybody. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about what I like to call the mortar for the bricks. I'm looking at your company, and that is the combination of innovation, quantification, and orchestration. And so, what you want to look at in your company is that every area, every one of these areas gets a little bit of attention. And in my humble opinion, it's really wise if you look at yourself, at your team, at your strengths and skills, and of course, reevaluate this now and again, as I'm always saying, and lean into one of these as like your sweet spot, the one thing that you do really well in response to what your widget is. Because these are the kind of things that can really make you stand out. So I want to talk about each one of them real quick. Of course, the written piece, supports this. I'll try and think of some hows on there. And then I want to talk for a second about how this relates to leadership and communication, right? Because that's what we talk about. Okay, so innovation. I suppose a lot of people automatically think of Steve Jobs. He's a great example of it, right? So companies who rely heavily on innovation tend to rely heavily on an entrepreneurial type spirit and or a pace-setting type leader, someone who's really going to push people to excel outside their box in creativity and in the execution thereafter, right? So this isn't just some good brainstorming. This is getting creative and then getting it done. So it takes a little bit more to it. It's the full spectrum of innovation. And if a company is good at that, if a company is great at that, it can really do amazing things. And it's a strong suit, a specialty of sorts that not every company would even want to embrace. That said, you're going to want to always be somewhat innovative or you will become irrelevant. Okay, quantification. This is your data gathering, right? This is learning everything you humanly can about your customers and your clients' experience with your stuff. It's finding out what's working and what's not, and deciding, part two, what you want to do about it. The more you can drill down on the details of why it is, but most especially why it's not working. Personally, I much prefer an unhappy customer with the confidence that I can turn them around, simply because I learn so much more about what got them there. I learn about gaping holes in my process or systems or humans because they had a real breakdown. They had a problem. Hopefully I can get them turned around. And in the meantime, I really learned a lot. Okay. Then we've got orchestration. And that's about your operational excellence. Some might know that term, right? That is about taking possibly some information from innovation, possibly some information from quantification, and deciding what are the absolutely most important elements of that you want to take away and go become amazing at, right? So that you can reduce your energies, focus on the stuff that you've chosen is most important, and become amazing and known for those things. A couple of things I want to talk about. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that innovation isn't always within your industry that affects your industry. So listening to your customers, that whole quantification piece, can really help you shave some time and energy on innovation. So you always want to have, some good quantification in there. Secondarily, orchestration, focusing on some of the most important issues you've either deemed good that you want to get better at or bad that you want to either get rid of or blow out of the ballpark, is also can lean into gathering data from quantification. So that piece is always important, always important, always important, no matter who you are or what you're doing. You've got to go find out how the people in the world feel about your widget. And orchestration does not have to be in the production of your widget, right? That might seem the most obvious, but Walmart just sells stuff. What made them amazing at selling stuff, which means price point for them in their model, was their ability to blow the what am I trying to say? Logistics. That's the word. Right out of the water. I mean, they have changed the way our world moves stuff because that was the only way that they could make their stuff cheaper. Right. So it's not necessarily in your widget development or your product delivery. It could be hidden someplace else. You want to look to your team, and I don't speak a lot of this in the article. You really want to look to your team and to yourself for your strengths when you begin to choose these, which means you also might end up changing your mind, and that is absolutely fine. Change your mind because the strengths of your team changes, because your skills grow and evolve, right? You get better at some things. You find some things less important, et cetera, et cetera. So you want to take a look at this stuff, I think, on an annual basis, but at least every 3 years, without fail. You know, what are your priorities and what do you want to do about those priorities? And how do you want to keep sluicing out this good information, bad word, but you know what I mean, in order to make sure that you're maintaining your priorities in response to your audience. Because, you know, without clients, you don't have a you, whatever it is you do, right? So that's kind of important. All right. I'll look for some how stuff. I mean, it just really so much depends on your industry here. But I'll try and reference some other people who look smarter than me in the article or something like that. Okay. Have a great day, week, month. You guys are always amazing, and I want you to stay that way. I have a new book coming out probably this week. So look forward to getting it free, hot off the presses. I'll let you know more as soon as I get it worked out. Thanks. Okay. Bye-bye. Y'all have a great time. Oh, hey. So I said I was going to talk about how this is related to leadership. Oops. And I forgot. So I just wanted to add, you'll see in the article that I reference which default leadership styles would be best suited to each of these angles in your marketing. But I also want to remind you guys that whatever your default style is, there's always room for growth, and you always want to be able to learn to wear multiple hats, multiple styles, depending on what the situation requests or requires. And always remember that building your culture to fill your holes, building your core team to be the things that you are not, to be strong at what you're weak at, is part of your job as the leader. And so if you think that what your company ought to be focusing on for whatever reasons that you have, and know or suspect those are not in your primary wheelhouse, don't sweat it, build around it. Okay, y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.